First caution of the day is out at Talladega. Ricky Craven appears to have lost an engine in turn number 3. Here's Dick Berggren.
Ford man Robin Pemberton learned racing as a kid working on local modifieds where he lived in upstate New York. He moved to North Carolina in search of a job in NASCAR's big league and became Bobby Allison's crew chief in 1985. For the next 17 years, over 499 starts, Robin Pemberton earned 23 wins as a crew chief for Mark Martin, Kyle Petty, and Rusty Wallace. These days, he coordinates Ford's race effort as the company's field manager. Robin's job is getting the most out of the teams and the race cars that, like Ford street cars, are built Ford tough.
Riding with Ricky Rudd, who started this race from the pole and currently is 5th.
Ford's doing an interesting thing with Lynn St. James. They've got this program that they're developing to find a female driver that they can promote and get into the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. And I think that's kind of cool.
We're seeing several of the cars. In fact, there's quite a bit at the back of the field. Remember the smaller fuel cells, that fuel window is much smaller. So we're seeing, looks like maybe about 20 cars. Look like Kevin Harvick maybe was the first one to actually commit to pit road, coming to get full of gas. In fact, Joe Nemechek, the 01 car that had been leading there, came to pit road as well.
Steve Burns.
Well, Ricky Craven's just pulled his Chevrolet behind pit wall, Mike. And Ricky, I heard you say in the car, what can we do to get any luck at all? What's wrong with the power plant?
Well, we just obviously lost an engine. I don't know. I'm just puzzled. I mean, it's been such a slow start for us. It's not just one thing. We just continue to have really strange circumstances. But you know, it's the same tied team that went to victory lane at Darlington and Martinsville. I got a lot of confidence in this group. We just got to battle through it.
Thanks, Ricky.
A very dejected Ricky Craven. Look at the 41, that white car with the bullseye, the Target Dodge of Casey Mears. He has climbed from 14th to 5th in 2 green flag laps, and right behind him, Jeff Green went from 15th to 7th. Those are the big movers in the early going. Here's our singular virtual crew chief question. Vote now from your singular wireless phone by sending text message FOX to phone number 191 or visit foxsports.com, and stay tuned for the results.
Yeah, we actually had 17 cars stay out on the racetrack, so with Ricky Craven in the garage area, that means 25 cars came to pit road. I didn't see any tire changing going on, basically a few adjustments, but mainly getting those fuel cells full of fuel.
From a safety standpoint of view, or from avoiding any problems, this is a good thing. You get all the cars in single file. They're not all bunched up now like they were on the start. Should see some good racing here now.
They have a pace truck here at Talladega rather than a pace car, and it's about to make the sharp left to pit road. It's one of those V10 Dodge SRT10 Rams. Here we go.
Great to see Mark Martin, that 6 car up there leading the race. Had a great car at Martinsville last week, running in the top 5. Had a fuel line. Brings them down at about 70 miles per hour. They go through the gearbox. See the Fox tracks there. The speed continues to climb. Probably about 140 miles an hour as they turn off into turn 1. With the restrictor plate under the carburetor, it takes about 1 full lap to get up to full speed here.
One mover mid-pack, looks like Nemechek made a pass on the outside, continues to gain ground. He was the first out, I believe, of the cars that did pit for fuel.
Just like any other mountain you climb, it'll jump up there at about 160 miles an hour pretty quickly. But to that last 30 miles an hour you're looking for, it comes slowly.
Junior wasting no time and moving up to the outside of Jeff Green.
With no one behind him. No help whatsoever.
He's going to need some help out there. It's tough sledding out there by yourself. Somebody will get out there with you.
That somebody is Greg Biffle.
And remember, Greg Biffle was the only DEI car to win a restrictor plate race last year. He won the July race in Daytona.
The only non-DEI car.
Non-DEI car.
Roush Ford. Riding with Dale Earnhardt Jr., 4-time winner here. That's Jeff Green, Richard Petty's 43 on the inside.
And when you see a car as dominant as that 8 car is, when he moves the outside, you say, I'm going with him, because you know he's headed to the front.
Like Casey Mears in the 41 car there, the white car with the target on the hood. He wanted to move up there for a second, but then he moves back in behind Ricky Rudd in the 21.
Ricky Rudd started this race from the pole and runs in 3rd. Jeannie?
Well, you know, guys, you get by with a little help from your friends here at Talladega. So I guess Mr. Congeniality right now would be the 6 car of Mark Martin. Both Nemechek of the 01 have been on the radio saying getting a good push from Mark Martin and talking about during the caution as well, just lining things up, ready to get the 6 in position to help them scoot forward.
But what we have to remember, almost every Ford in the field is kind of somewhat teammates. Remember, Roush and Yates has their engine package. Ricky Rudd runs the Roush Yates engine. So almost we have about 8 Fords that act like a team.
Oh, Rudd moved up to pick up Junior. Junior said no thanks. Cut further to the outside with Biffle. Rudd drops back in line.
Well, that line behind Junior right now is really stacking up so that he's getting a really good push now.
Yeah, Rudd was lucky to get back down there because he had a hole to fall into. Otherwise, he'd have probably been hung out.
Rush hour traffic.
Yeah, it didn't take them long to get 3 wide, did it? Single file restart, and here we go.
You see Sterling Marlin in that 40 car up there, the Kentucky Derby paint scheme on the hood, getting a good push from Robbie Gordon in the 31, trying to make that outside line move to the front. They're moving right now.
That's number 40, Marlin. Here he comes alongside Jeff Gordon and trying to pull it down on Greg Biffle in the 16.
Talked to Sterling last night, said he had a pretty good race car. He felt pretty confident this week. Bush coming in the picture there.
Listen to the RPMs. They never change. For the most part, these guys hold the throttle wide open all the way around this 2.66 mile track.
Oh, she's heating up at the front, though. Here comes Junebug on the outside, and he has friends.
Well, who wouldn't want to be his friend here, Darrell?
That's right. Well, we saw Greg Biffle yesterday just bump drafting everybody that he got behind. He can't keep up with Junior long enough to bump him.
We're riding with Kevin Harvick right now, the 29 car. Remember, he was one of the cars that came to pit road and topped off. He's already moved back up into the top 10.
And there you have it.
With no help.
He just drove around him on the outside. And the rest is history.
Junior, Mark Martin, then side by side, Marlin the white car on the outside, Greg Biffle inside, and then everybody else.
We have 34 cars running in less than 2 seconds, that whole pack.
And the Pied Piper is out front.
And they're 3 by 3 by 3 behind him.
That's right.
These 140,000 fans, all of them raving their red hats and shirts. They love it.
This race, a sellout. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads them around the world's fastest speedway.